G'day everyone, Jim Q1 here, Guy. Look, I just wanted to talk about a series I'm going to do, so a 5-part series on some of the biggest gold nuggets ever found in the world. This is sort of the lead up to the 150th anniversary, the finding of the biggest one, which was the Welcome Stranger that was found near Malagal. So in the 5-part series, we're going to be looking in the area known as the Golden Triangle in Victoria, which is basically the richest gold field in the world, but also looking at a smaller triangle where a lot of these very, very large gold nuggets have been found, up to 2,500 ounces, and obviously at a current gold price of about $1,700 an ounce. Very nice finds if you could actually get to them. So the area that I'll be looking at, so in the 5 nuggets that or the 5 finds that we'll be looking at, is basically in an area that's sort of bounded by Tarnagulla to the east, across to Malagal where the Welcome Stranger was found, and then up to Kingour where the largest nugget ever found with a metal detector was found. So what I'm going to take you through is give you a little bit of a history of the towns or the areas nearby. We'll also have a look at the geology, so I'll be putting together a few maps and showing you how you can use sort of Google to actually overlay some of the old maps there, and we'll also obviously talk about the finds. So we'll actually go physically in the area, or the broad area where these are found, so you can actually physically see what the ground looks like. The other part about this is all of these 5 nuggets could have been found by one of these, which is this is the GPX 4500, mind that. But any reasonable new gold detector these days would have found all 5 of these nuggets. So there's just a couple of things. Not obviously, but this area has both public land or crown land, which if you have one of these, or probably actually you're one of these, but a miner's right, you can actually go into these areas and hopefully find something maybe a little bit bigger than this and closer to what these nuggets that we'll go through are. So there's one thing I will make a caveat on this, is that this is an area that's got a lot of private land, and you're obviously not allowed on that private land. You don't want to get picked up for trespassing, so please don't try to jump fences. The reason for this is quite clear, because it's number one, it's against the law, but it doesn't obviously help the rest of the prospectors that are out there. There's plenty of public land out there to go through, and you basically will get caught. Maybe 30 years ago you might have got away with it now, but each and every one of the property owners has one of these, and within minutes the old bush telegraph, and you'll either be met by the local copper or the property owner, probably by the time you've actually tried to go over the fence. So please don't use any of this information to trespass into areas that you're not supposed to. I really hope you enjoy the 5-part series, and looking forward to sharing the on-ground experiences with it. And please feel free to make comments and ask a few questions about it. So let's go to part 1 and the Poseidon nugget. G'day everyone, we're not far from where the Poseidon nugget was found. So we're about 5 kilometres sort of southeast of Tarnagulla here, early in the morning. It's a brisk, probably about 2 degrees here, it's absolutely freezing. So a little bit about Tarnagulla, which is basically that way. So a small rush there is about 1852. About 5,000 diggers were there, and they worked there for a while there, and then started to do some deeper shafting, and it's well known for actually the one of the hottest properties around. So bloke had a mine there that was about 3 metres by, went down about 120 metres, this guy, and in 13 months pulled out about 13.5 tonnes of gold. So, and what other name would you call it but the poverty mine? And obviously that guy didn't have an issue with poverty, but it was actually named because just across the ditch in New Zealand he actually was in a wreck, and while he was saving himself, he also saved a Maori woman and actually married her, and the place where the shipwreck was Poverty Bay, so that's why he called it the Poverty Mine. So very, very rich, very, very rich ground around here. You also know there's a couple of aerial photos that basically won about sort of 70, 80 years ago. So this area has changed a little bit, so you can actually see that there's been a fair amount of stripping of vegetation, and where we're at the moment is basically, you know, open fields and so forth. So it's fair amount of work's done. There's a gold mine just open cut, probably only a couple of k's just over the hill there, and I'll put a bit of a link to. There's a really good video on it and showing how they actually get down to the bottom of where all the pay dirt sits on the thick, very ancient clays down the bottom. Open cut of very shallow mine site. It's just on the other side. So Poseidon was found over that way through the trees, and as you can see, there's a fair amount of overburden, and they're obviously screening this. Got trommels and so forth working through there, and this goes a bit further. Sort of, you can't really see on the other side there as well. Their little camp over there. As I said, it's good video on this, so worth having a look at this video. Cheers. So just a little bit about this place. So in terms of the geology, this is very much alluvial ground. So in the distance there is the Loddon River, so a major river for the area. So this is basically fairly shallow alluvial ground, and under that it's basically ancient deep Ordovician deposits. So in terms of where we stand here, the actual nugget was found probably about a kilometre that way, and the actual Poseidon lead actually comes across the paddock into that area and sort of ends almost on the roadway up there. And there was a lot of nuggets actually pulled out, so Poseidon was only one of the small ones. And there's also a couple of smaller leads that come sort of across the paddock here. There's the Federation lead, and also the just-in-time lead straight into the sun. Apologies for the sun glare, guys. So yeah, it looks very, very inert, and as I said, it's basically used as sheep property at the moment. So that's it about sort of the geology. That's nothing really much to say. Even if you have a look, just on the roadside here, you can see some of the quartz going through. How complex some of that stuff is. So yeah, gives you a little bit of an idea of what the ground's like here. But as I said, most of the there's a fair amount of quartz thing on the side here. But there's a lot of this sort of conglomerate sort of stuff as well. So yeah, really interesting interesting place. But yeah, so where I'm probably standing here, probably about down a few metres. Yeah, there's beautiful clay layer that just holds all the gold that's sort of shredded off these reefs, all these leads, and this is where the big boys are, so, or were anyway. So just talking about the find. So the find was found by 4 blokes, Condren. Who was the other guy? Woodhall, who was the main guy. You'll see that there's a photo of the team about there. Also Eves and Brooks. So it was found in early December and very, very late for some of the big finds here. So it was found in 1906. So, you know, probably 60 years after most of the big rushes had actually happened. And so the interesting part is it's fairly shallow, so it's only sort of 12 inches down, and we have a massive horse race here, the Melbourne Cup, and the reason it was called the Poseidon Nugget was a few weeks before Poseidon was the horse that actually won the Melbourne Cup. So obviously the nugget didn't look like something different, or was named after the finder's daughter or something like that, which typically happens in this area. But yeah, so and it weighed approximately about 30 kilograms, so quite sizable. And there's a picture there that you can have a look at of the nugget as well. Fairly shallow, again in the clays. It was actually sitting on some quartz bedrock as well, down about 12 inches, and yes, modern technology would have found it very, very easily in these fields. So yeah, a great find for the group, and as you can see from some of the old photos, a fair amount of joyity and you know, a great amount of joy was, you know, taken, and it was massive for the whole of the area. So especially when a lot of the rushes had sort of petered out, mainly through the sort of the depression in the 1890s and so forth. A lot of the mining was very sort of deep mining, and there was not a lot of sort of, you know, shallow alluvial mining happening in Victoria at the time. So it was a great find, and again another rush started and they found some very nice nuggets in here.